Testing, testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, are we here? Let's see what's going on. Testing. All right. All right. We are there. All right. All right. We are successfully connected. Cool. Cool. Good evening, family and friends. Welcome to another episode of Trap No More Podcast. I missed you guys last week, man. I had a crazy weekend. I'm not going to get all into that though, because man, I have an amazing guest with you today. He's a little shy, man, but we'll break him in. I know we will. Look, you scoot up a little bit, bro. You way back there, man. Scoot up. I know you always got my back, but you gotta scoot up. Right there would be cool. I guess you're good right there. Anyways, let me leave something in the comment just telling me that you're there. Sorry for the delay. I completely apologize. We're just having some internet issues. Let me see just a thumbs up or something, just telling us that it sounds good, looks good, whatever. Just let me know that you guys are watching. Let me know. Just want to make sure. Bunny. All right, Bunny. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Glad to have you here, servant of the Most High. I see you. All right, we are live, Mr. Enrique Lozano. So, as I was saying, man, I missed you guys last weekend, but I had already told you I was up in the University of Nevada, Reno, visiting the campus for my 12th grader. She's getting ready to leave the nest, man. My baby girl, she's only 16 years old, man. She's gonna be graduating at 17, and she'll be in college at 17. She ain't even legal, man. How they gonna do that? But yeah, my baby girl is going to be going off to college. So right now it's that season where we had to go and visit these different universities, try to figure out if it's a safe place, if she likes it and whatnot, and find out what's the benefits of going to that university, which we're blessed, man. We're blessed that, she has a good GPA and she's getting acceptance letters already. And yeah, we're excited about it, but we're trying to this is really our first rodeo, visiting these universities. So we just been looking at all the right questions to ask about administration, about, all the different things. So that's what we're doing. And then I also took a quick trip out to Miami, Florida, um, just to meet with some people out there. I'm not going to get all into it, but it's kind of big. It's kind of big deal. You know what I mean? But I'll say that for another time. But today, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe. Don't forget to share it. As a matter of fact, let me hit the live because I forgot to hit the live. Hold on, real quick, people. Just real quick, or else my Facebook people ain't going to have access to it. Uh, edit privacy and let's make it public. All right. All right. All of you's on Facebook. Now you guys can see me. Sorry about that. Yeah, today's a little crazy, man. A little wild, you know what I mean? Had a good church service and man, still feeling it. But I'm here with a precious friend, man. I say friend. This isn't just some random guy that I got off the streets to interview. This is somebody that I had the privilege of meeting back during COVID time is when I actually met him. He was being a limo driver at the time for my daughter's Sweet 16, Dominique's Sweet 16, and it was COVID. We couldn't really do anything, so we just did like a photo shoot and a little backyard party for her. Luckily, I didn't have no neighbors calling the cops because we had more than 10 people. But during the time, I was riding shotgun with him, while he was driving, and we were talking. And man, just a few, I think we were probably with each other about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours of driving, probably about 2 hours of driving. Let me see. You need to talk in the mic because I can't hear nothing you're saying. Talk.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can. Move it
Perfect.
over towards you where it's almost hitting your chin.
There you
Yeah,
go.
kind of like right there. Now we could hear you. So, anyways, for like 2 hours, we're driving around and he was just, I shared a little bit of my story with him and he was sharing some of his story. And next thing I know, he said he wouldn't mind learning a new trade, in which I do, which, I'm a poo technician, meaning service pools, maintenance pools, all that good stuff. And he was like, "Yeah, let me drive around with you for a little bit." And he ended up doing that, man. He ended up helping me out during some critical times. I had got sick during COVID, and he was still barely, just a few pools into it, man. And he said, "I got you. Don't trip. Like, get better. I got this." I think I only lost like 5 accounts while he was serving. Nah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, man. So while he was sharing his story with me, and I'm not going to get into a lot of details, but this being trap families, he shared about, growing up here in Southern California in the city of Pico Rivera. Pico Rivera. I've had about 4 or 5 different people on here from Pico Rivera.
Oh, did you
Hey,
really?
look at put the leg facing you, like line up one of the legs facing so it doesn't tilt over. All right, because it will tilt over. You keep banging it. But anyways, he started talking to me about, a lot about his father and his mother, who he loves dearly, and his grandmother. Told me he is a single dad at the time, raising 2 little girls. He's a girl's dad. And he was just sharing some of his hardships and some of the struggles as a young boy. Um, and I was like, dang, you know what I mean? But as I worked with him more and more, this guy right here, I'm just going to share this one and let him jump into his story. But this is what he did in my life. During a time when I was like struggling in some situations, some personal matters and stuff, this dude was just pumping positivity into me, praying over me. During the workday, man, it's not all just peaches and cream, man. Sometimes it gets frustrating. Sometimes, when things ain't going right, you just get a little bit just angry and just like, oh, kind of want to just, walk away from a job or something. But he was there by my side, very positive, very motivational, speaking a lot of life into me. And he's a couple of years younger than me, I'll say. He'll say a lot of years younger than me,
Probably
but a couple of
like
years.
10, 20.
But this young man, he's an entrepreneur. He's a great father. I'm not going to say a perfect father, but I'm going to say a great father because this man right here would lay down his life for his daughters. He will work, 20 hours straight in order to provide for these kids. He'll work 2, 3 jobs to provide for these kids. And he's just very inspirational to me, very motivational to me. And that's why I asked him to come on to share his experience with us because I believe there's a lot of hope in there, especially, for some of you, a lot of you are going to relate to his story. So we'll just jump right into it. I've already taken enough of your time. But, brother Enrique, man, give us a little background on where you come from, what it was like in the home, um, and just take us from there, bro.
All right. Yeah. Basically, my dad was incarcerated ever since I could remember. Got out probably when I was about 5 till maybe about 6 or 7. And then went back till I was about probably 18. So I kind of just figured things out. My mom, my brother, my sister, and try to make it happen with what we had. Mm. God, I didn't go to the home until I think probably like 25, maybe.
The home, what home?
Oh, I thought you said share
No,
about when I
no,
went to the home.
no, no, no. Talk about your home life growing up. Tell us
Oh,
about
okay. Oh, my
what
home
was it
life.
like. You know what I mean? Were you
Yeah, it
rich?
was
Were you poor? Were you middle class? Mother and father? Well,
probably
you already jumped into your father, so
yeah, not a bunch of not a bunch of money, definitely. So just had a cool 4 or 5 bedroom house in Peak Rivera, and lived there all my life. Still live there, and yeah, it was basically me, my mom, my brother, my sister, and that was it, man. Just, they were on and off. We were on and off a little bit with church as I was growing up, and went to school. Didn't do too good in school. Do too good in elementary. Didn't do too good in junior high. Didn't do too good in high school. I think I lasted till about freshman year, maybe in high school. Then I had to go to another school, and
Were you the oldest, Enrique?
the youngest.
Oh, the youngest. All right. And during them times, because like you said, from you said your dad came home when you were about 5 years old.
It's rough to remember, but somewhere about 5 or 6, maybe 7.
So like first grade, whatnot, somewhere around there.
Just don't.
Yeah.
I'd have to check the records. I kind of wonder just for my own personal notes, like when did he when did he come? But I don't remember the
Hmm.
age. I want to say about 5. That's just a guesstimate.
And you said when he came home, he didn't last too long, or when did you say he was out and then he went back again?
I think he was maybe out for maybe a year,
So just a short period of time in your life.
short period of time.
And was your mom by his side? Was she visiting him? Did you were you able to
We
visit with
visited
them?
him a few times. He always wrote me every a few times a month, and yeah, I didn't get to see him too much. He was kind of far.
So your relationship was really through letters, phone calls.
Letters and
You
the
talked to
phone.
him, phone
Yeah,
letters and phone.
grandma used to let me talk to him all the time.
Mhm. So what did that feel like not having your dad in? I mean, you had your older brother and your sister. Did they tell you like, a like, did you feel a certain way because he wasn't there? Did you have any animosity or any like, man, I wish I had my dad there?
I got used to it. You know,
Kiwi.
all the letters he sent me were nice to get the letters, and sometimes I'd get a tape where he'd be talking on it,
Hmm.
throw a couple of songs on there. That was cool. Yeah, it flew by. I mean, I guess I just kind of got used to it, and yeah, I remember. I think I was probably about 17 when he got out one of the times, and I was at the park with one of my homies, and we were talking to some girls, and my dad walks up and he asked my homie, he's like, "Hey, is that little Hank?" And my homie's like, "Why? Who are you?" He's like, "I'm his dad." So then I was talking to this girl, and my homie said, "Hey, fool," he's like, your dad's right here." And I was like, "Oh shoot, okay." I was like, "Hey, what's up, dad?" Like trying to be all cool in front of the girl, and that was when I had seen him that I hadn't seen him in a long time.
Dang.
Probably from like 6 to 17, so whatever that was.
Did you recognize him and everything?
I guess once I was just in shock, still kind of remember the whole little scenario, and then my homie's dad, he was always busted too, so that was like a similarity, so it wasn't too awkward because both of our dads were, his dad got in and out more in mine then, so we seen his more often, but when mine came out, it was like, whoa. But
Mhm.
that was cool, man. It was good to have him back for a little while.
So with no dad in your life, in your friend's life, which you identified as your homie, did you get involved in the gang lifestyle, drugs, violence, anything like that?
I was there, yeah. I was there with never got too deep, but when you grow up in the neighborhood is a little bit rough to stay away from everything.
Hmm. Yeah. So did you start experimenting with any kind of substances, alcohol, anything like that? I
Oh
mean,
yeah, everything.
everything.
Well,
Like at
not
what age?
everything, but probably like 14, maybe 15.
Yeah, you started off with alcohol, weed, or
Alcohol, marijuana, weed.
and did you start to see an increase in your substance use?
Yeah, I remember people used to tell me, "Hey, it's gonna lead to other stuff," and I was like, "Nah, you know what? I'm good with just weed and beer." Then other stuff comes around, and then boom, you know, it gets you at a weak moment. Whatever. It's just there sooner or later. to get to other levels.
So when you were saying that you weren't doing good in school and all that, why was it due to fighting? Was it just not doing homework, not showing up? What was playing a factor in that?
At that point, I kind of my mom was kind of me, my brother, my sister, my mom. We were just all running our own program, so I just kind of didn't really have to do my homework, so I didn't really do it, and just always struggled with focusing in class,
Mm.
staying up late. Now I'm like, shoot, I see the importance about getting the proper rest, and I didn't fully realize it at that time how important the right amount of rest was. If I would have went to bed early, just that alone, I probably would have done better in school
So there was no accountability, so you just kind of just ran amok, just like didn't really care about
for a
all that.
long time.
Okay. So what was it like, later on as you said you went up to like a freshman year of high school?
I I want to say it was about freshman. A lot of it got kind of just blanked out. But just like when my dad got out, I'm like, shoot, I don't really remember the age. The freshman, I think it might have been. I think it was freshman. Yeah.
So what were you doing? I mean, since you weren't going to school at that time, what were you doing? Just hanging out on the streets, smoking weed,
Oh,
drinking,
I
messing with
went to
girls?
school. I just went to a different school.
You went to a different school,
uh
continuation or something, or
Yeah, it was like a continuation probation school.
what were you put on probation for?
That was just being a fool.
Being a fool, like how? What were you doing? Just
Basically just being a fool on the
stealing,
streets, man.
possession of weapons, breaking into cars.
Yeah, it was basically taking things that wasn't mine.
So stealing, okay.
Yeah.
You were doing that just for the heck of it, or were you coming up like that? Was that part of your come up?
Chasing the habit, and it was just what we did, just hey, just let's go come up. I mean, how else was I gonna get money?
Work?
Until I got older, yeah, then I realized, hey, you know what? Dang, I could sell anything. And
You
I
you
could
said
do
that like
this and
every
I
youth
could
is
do
just out there robbing and stuff to get money, bro.
well, I
Some
mean,
people work for their money. So,
yeah,
hey, you said something right now though. You said chasing that habit. What was that about?
just the rush, whatever the habit was at the time, weed, beer, girls, and other, whatever it
So
was,
just flossing, really. Just
Uh, not really trying to floss too much at that age, just getting by.
okay. All right. So what ends up happening? I mean, what ends up occurring next in your life, you know? And were your brothers and sisters going down that same route as you? Were they
They
like out
were
there?
um they were going to church at a time, and then not, and I was just kind of you know experiencing that, witnessing it, so a little confusing, but
When you
but
say they, you talking about your
my
mom
brother
and
and
your
my
sibling?
sister, all
What about your mom?
basically.
Your mom too?
Yeah, kind of, yeah, pretty much all three of us.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not trying to put their business out there, you know what I mean? Because it's not really my place to say their business, but,
Mhm.
you know, you asked that personal question, so it's pretty
Okay.
much what it was.
All right. Yeah, yeah. No, I was just trying to see, if they were all going while you were on the backside, just like the rest of the family's doing something. I'm over here.
Now I was on the same boat as them, up and down.
Okay.
My brother was 10 years older than me. My sister was 5 years older than me. So, when she was 20, I was 15. My brother was 25. So there's a little age gap there.
Yeah. All right. So what else? So, you know, going into your early, I don't know, like early 20s and stuff, what was going on in your life at that point? What was happening?
Oh my God, in my 20s. I mean, probably
Did
more
you wait a minute? Did you
motorcycles, fast
did you end up
cars.
graduating?
Yeah.
You did
Yeah,
GED or actual
GED,
diploma? GED.
GED. Yeah.
Okay. And then from that time going forward, when it's time to go start, living life, what was going on?
Well, I mean, probably I've always been pretty much a hustler. Just at a younger age, I was probably hustling the wrong things. Then as I got older, I started to hustle more legitimate ideas that was going to be less risk with getting in trouble. So pretty much did okay for myself, without getting in trouble because I was able to think of legitimate ways to make money.
Mm, like what were you doing?
Whatever was around, pogs. I almost didn't even seem like selling weed was really a crime. So selling weed is just like wasn't much, and then probably too many events to count. I mean,
Mm,
with ideas, a lot.
give me two of them, man.
Buying, selling cars,
Okay.
motorcycles, dirt bikes. Um, I think I did a window cleaning business, a gardening business. Not full on LLC C corps, but just basically, hey, I got a lawnmower, $20. Let's go.
Yeah. And I believe him, man, because the few years that I've known him, this man, that's his niche right there is sales, flipping things, I know this man to get cars. I mean, this guy right here, I've seen him in action where it's like, what do you need? Oh, I need an AC. Okay. Let me call somebody. Next thing you know, he's selling an air conditioning unit. He's selling a BMW. He's selling, just different things like that. You need some windows for your home. He's gonna figure out who's selling windows, and he's gonna make a deal where he could make, I think you're saying one time was like, shoot, if you could make like $25 off of little interaction, it's worth it. Like
Yeah, depends on how long it takes.
yeah, yeah, so that's his thing, though, that's his real niche, and like he
You still
just said
got
right
some of
now.
those motors I bought, right? When we were cleaning pools, I bought a bunch of motors.
They're still there, man, they're against the law, as a matter of fact, now, so
So they're worth more.
they're worth more, yeah, but yeah, so
That was
okay,
like 1 year ago. We got to get you to start selling some stuff, Joe.
man, you trying to trigger me. Anyways, so, some of the main things that really grabbed my attention with you being a young father. You mind sharing? I know that's personal, but do you mind sharing just, not really going into the relationship like that, but when did you have your first kid? What what was that like? Because I know you love the heck out of your kids.
So
So
I basically I want to say when I was 18, I got with a girl, and she was pregnant, or she got pregnant. Somehow she ended up pretty much raising my first kid that wasn't biologically mine, my son. His name's Angel, and he was probably like one of the best things that happened to me. Just very amazing young little boy, and I stood close to him ever since. He's 23 now. He's in the Air Force, and I want to say me and his mom broke up when he was about 7, maybe about the time I lost my dad. And he came up to me and he had asked me, "Hey, does this mean you're not going to be my dad anymore?" Because me and his mom, of course, were fighting and yelling and doing all the unnecessary, dysfunctional drama. And I didn't expect that coming from him because I was in the moment with her, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll always be your dad as long as you want." And so ever since then, I just, pretty much loved him with all my heart, and we still keep in pretty close communication. So I was 18 to answer your question.
yeah, yeah, I actually forgot about him. I remember I met his dad though. Remember we stopped by the house, and you told me this
That
was
was his grandpa.
his grandpa. Yeah, 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 his grandpa.
Yeah, George. Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
good dude
yeah,
too.
but yeah. So, yeah, I remember you told me that, yeah, he's basically my son, like, I raised him since he was little, and was in the Air Force and everything. So, what was that like? I mean, because he wasn't biologically yours, though, but you were raising him like he was your own. What was that like?
Great. I mean, he listened very well, and I enjoyed it. Still do.
Still in contact with them and everything, huh? Cool. And then what happened with your next kid?
My daughter, she's 12. So I had her. It didn't work out too well with her mom. Just, drama. Probably on my side. I'll take responsibility, and it didn't work out. So me and her communicate. Pretty just like normal adults now, and my little girl gets really good grades in school. She's well mannered, beautiful. She's a good kid.
Yeah. She's really close to you too, huh?
Yeah, yeah, she's definitely close to me.
Yeah. Do you feel that either of them kids really like change your perspective and like you needing to like grow up a little bit more out of some of the stuff that you were doing? Did you see them really having a part in you changing the perspective that you were going?
Um, Not really. Pretty much when I was like 18, but once I had I want to say probably my youngest, little Rebecca, that probably had a one of the biggest changes because a lot of the weight was on my plate. So I was like, shoot, I had to sell the race bikes and pick up a Harley because on the street bikes it was like 170, 180 just because on the road,
Mm,
just what it was. Just that no fear really. Just take off as fast as you can, sober or not. And then I'm like, shoot. I'm like, God gave me the full custody of the little one, and that was when I was like, shoot, man, it's if anything happens to me, she's gonna pay for whatever I might have any mistakes I might have made.
mhm. So what are you doing? I mean, what are you doing nowadays, Enrique? I mean, you went through a lot of
My bad, Joe. I gotta take a quick restroom break.
Alright. Go ahead and pop. We'll do a little commercial right here. Just uh I'll be right here. I see my boy. He's a little nervous right now, man. I could see it, This fool normally I can't shut him up, and right now it's like I gotta pull things out of this dude because he's acting very, very shy right now. But I understand though. Like I always say, man, coming on here in front of a live audience, even though we can't see you, we know you're there. And, it could be very intimidating for people, believe me, if you ain't shared your story in front of people, because what I always tell people is that it's pretty much like you're literally like getting naked in front of people and you're letting people in to hear about you, and the more transparent you are, the more scary it gets because you're putting your business out there and sometimes we're not used to getting the feedback or I didn't know that about you or we might think somebody's going to judge us a different type of way now because we shared certain information and it could be a little intimidating, to put our business out there. And at the same time, the hardest thing for me is not offending any of my loved ones or not whatnot, because growing up, we all have our different perspective on what we witnessed, because even like my story, and I always share it, I have three sisters that I mean, I consider them my blood. I mean, I would die for I've never ever called my sisters like half sisters, even though they had different dads. It's always just my sisters. That's all they are. You know what I'm saying? But my father treated me totally different than he treated them. So, of course, if I'm saying my dad, you know, treating me a certain way, it's easy for my sister to say, nah, daddy wasn't like that, because my dad was hella cool with them, you know. My dad in his understanding is, and he told me this was out of his own mouth, I can't put hands on them. They're not my girls, you know? And I'm like, "What do you mean they're not your girls?" You know, like, they live under your roof, you're paying for their insurance, like, why can't you do them like you do me, you know? But I understood, like, now I understood. Now I understand, I should say, is that, my dad loved my sisters like his own, but I see that in blended families, with homies that are going through that, how they discipline their children that ain't biologically theirs. But like I was saying though, it's not easy. It's not easy standing before these cameras and we don't know who's watching and we don't know how they're going to judge us. But um I do appreciate my boy being here and sharing what he's sharing.
Thank
Trust
you.
me though, man.
Thank you,
This guy,
Joe.
this guy ain't like this all the time. When we drive around, this will be hitting me and just talking his head off.
Yeah, no, he's not lying. The only thing is, Joe had asked me to do this like a long time ago. I'm like, I don't know. I got to think about it. I was a little nervous about sharing my personal information with everybody, but I met a guy at work probably a couple of weeks ago, and I was sharing just a little bit of my story with him, and he was going through some things, and he was like, "Hey, you know what? I really feel like your story can have a positive effect on other people." So I was like, and I told him about my one of my boys wanted me to do a podcast, and he's like, you should really do it because he only spent about 15-20 minutes with me. He said, and it was encouraging and a game changer for him. So I was like, you know what? I called Joe and I was like, all right, hey, all right, let's do it. And he was like, all right, perfect. Next Sunday, let's go. I was like,
Yeah, and like I said, I don't want to hype it up too much. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's like I could get like that where I just fire up the story without allowing you to share it. But some of the most inspirational stuff, like I said, during times when I was going through some hardships, and I've been through some stuff in life. You know what I mean? And it takes a lot of humility to be like, you know what, man, this youngster's right. I need to break it down. I need to apologize in these areas, and I need to, look at the part I play in this situation. And these were words out of your mouth.
I remember.
And then you hear about your story, and I know he's holding back. And one of the things on my podcast I always tell, my guests is, share what you feel comfortable with, because sometimes something might come out explaining your story that may offend somebody, that it's in the past. Like, they don't understand that we're sharing how, some of our hurt, some of our challenges is what led us to be who we are today, is what pushed us over that hump, and has allowed us to be successful in what we're doing today. But sometimes sharing that hardship can be offensive to them people that were going through it with us at the time. And I always tell my visitors, my guests, it's not trying to pull out all the dirty laundry and, oh yeah, my story's worse than that last guy you had or whatnot. And we're not trying to, go there. You know what I'm saying? I just want you to share though, because I believe 100%, Enrique, being a young single dad, the hustle that I seen you do, it's not just lip service, him saying that, he's an entrepreneur and, he's gonna make no, he's gonna figure it out. I've seen him. I've seen you hustle. And legit, it's all legit, you know what I'm saying? Um, just by the little video that I posted, some of you may have seen it, that all them pictures of him and his daughter traveling, he makes it a point, his kids are priority. And that's hard as a young father that still wants to, party and still live life. You're a single dad, and it, it it could be challenging raising these young kids, man.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, man. But that's what encouraged me, and that's what a lot of my guests. And we haven't even. And I don't know. I don't. And I'm not going to say it, but I don't know how much you're going to share about the effects that your father really had on you, because I know in our conversations you loved your dad. You weren't too happy with some of the choices he made, but yet you loved him, respected him, and in his latter years, you were able to have a relationship with him.
It
So,
was up and down. It was kind of up and down because
mhm,
of his habits, and I was trying to get rid of my habits, and he was, you know, pretty fresh and strong in his, and it was um it was a little rough because I struggled with some of what he was going hard in, and I was like trying not to go back. I'm like, sure, I don't want to go back.
mhm.
Because you never know if you're gonna come back. Once you go back. So
Hey, quick question: was your dad a Marine veteran?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, Marine veteran, 100% disabled vet. So towards his last years, he was getting 100%.
so he battled with a lot of inner stuff
Yeah, and I,
behind.
I didn't get it at first. When you're caught up in the moment, seeing somebody in their habit, you're sometimes you get upset because you don't fully understand it. Whatever it may be. Prison, drugs. Now it's like phones. Phone is almost like the drug, but yeah, some pretty sad memories and some good memories too. But his death came. I mean, I knew it was coming, but once it came, I was like, it hit harder than I thought it would have because I didn't realize how I guess how close we were with all the years that went by. I was like, when I found out and the coroner called me and said, "Hey, this is a coroner." I was like, "Who got your dad here?" I was just like in shock. It felt like I hit a wall because I felt like I never really hardly ever had him. And then I kind of had him, and then, well, I mean, he had went back to prison a few more times. I think he went back when I was like 18. From like 17 to 18, I had him for another year, and then maybe from like 20 to 27, gone another 7 years, and so he was busted most of my life, but I guess all the letters and phone calls just added up in my heart and my memory, and I was just like, once he passed, I was like, oh my god,
Do
in
you have it?
shock.
Do you have any good memories with your dad? Can you share like a special moment with him?
Yeah, yeah. When I was about that one time when he got out, when I was like 5 or 6, he bought me a bike, and I went riding my bike, and I crashed one time into he was in a men's home in I want to say Montebello, and I crashed, and I was in pain, and he just kind of held me, and he just said it was all right to cry, and I just kind of cried on his shoulder, and that was a nice memory.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So leading up to his passing, and you took that hard, right? Um, did that take you back out? Because I think you said though that you were already trying to come out of your own addiction. Do you feel that that kind of pushed you back, or
I mean, when he passed, I was just, I mean, I went straight to the bottle, and that was my escape route for the most part, and I just went straight back to it, you know. So that was that was it. But gosh, when he passed, I even kind of blanked that out. I want to say maybe 5 years ago. I just probably took me a good 5 months to just like soak it in that he was just gone.
yeah?
Yeah.
How? I mean, I don't. I'm sure you can't totally express, but how did it affect your brother and sister? Did they go through?
Well, they had a different dad.
Okay.
So their dad passed away when they were younger. So when my dad passed, they were there for me, but it wasn't their dad, so it wasn't the same.
Hmm. But they were very caring towards you,
Oh yeah.
knowing the pain from losing their own dad.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing today in life. What's going on? What's Enrique up
Today,
to?
pretty much working a lot, just trying to educate myself so I don't have to go back to any, previous mistakes and just learn as much as I could. I mean, part of why I guess I came on here was because, some of the kids out there that don't have their dad or their dad's busted or they were getting talked into the gang life. I just seen it all from when I was really young. All the gang members, wanted the nice cars and the beautiful women and the money. But a lot of the real OGs ended up dead or busted, at the end of the day. And
So
I'm like,
you
shoot.
were able to fast forward, like, okay, if I get involved with this and I end up like the OGs, all I see is them getting busted and
And I had I had quite a few of the OGs like, hey man, you don't really gotta go this route. Your family was already, you know, did enough. Like, just you don't gotta live like this. You're making the right choice and just stay away from it because it's all around. So I was just like, I had one of my older homies. He told me, I watched him through his whole criminal g- gang career, and he's like, hey, check it out. He's like, you see all the people around right now, well, I got money and I got what they want. He's all, but just keep watching because pretty soon I won't be here, because what this leads to is, prison or death. He's like, when I go, I'm gonna write you and let you know if I don't, if he don't die, and I'll keep you posted. I was like, all right, for sure. And so I was able to get an inside scoop from, one of a real hot spot in the city that I lived, and I was able to watch it all just from the outside and, be right there, and everything he said came to pass. Sure enough, he ended up writing me. He's like, hey, remember what I told you? He's like, well, I'm here, and nobody's here. He's like, it's just me. I mean, except probably for his mom and his dad and his brother, but all the people that he was like, so you don't got to do it. He's like, you could learn from my mistakes. You've seen it all from beginning to end. And then he gave me more examples than I can count. And he was one that a lot of people looked up to. So I was like, shoot, okay. I mean, he was able to break it down in a way where I really felt like I kind of understood. So I'm like, shoot, okay, so I should probably find a legitimate way to make money. And then I had it came to a point where I had younger people than me trying to follow my footsteps. And I just remember there was one time I rolled up to one of the youngsters' houses, and he was pretty much crying in tears, and I won't say no names, but I usually tell him, hey, you know what, jump in, and wherever we were going, that's where we were going, and whatever we were doing is what we were doing. And that one day he was crying, and he always used to try to act hard to kind of prove himself. And he basically, I said, what happened, man? He's like, well, my mom got busted. And he's like, I'm not really tripping on that. He's like, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with my brother and sister. And they were like 2 and 5, and they were at the door just watching him. And usually when we would bounce, his mom would be there, his grandma would be there, but circumstances got bad for him, and that's when I was like, wow, okay. So this life is not just all about me, but I might be able to have a positive impact on somebody like him. So I said, before that, like I said, I was on the street bikes and just living the life, just max speed. Don't remember where I parked the next day. Um, Drunk on different things, just riding like zero fear. And I'm like, because a part of me was so hurt, I just didn't really want to be here anymore at all in this world. I'm like, man, this is a sad place, and I'm done. So people are like, oh my god, you can crash on your bike. I'm like, yeah, I know. So it's kind of like God didn't really let me go because I had went through more red lights and I can count at just full max speed, just like all right, and it just felt like the cars would just stop for me all the time. I was like, come on, this can't even be real. Or looking for my bike the next day, calling the numbers on my caller ID, like, hey, fool, you remember where did I park my bike? They're like, we don't know. You just took off the curb, off the homie's yard. And I was like, oh, my bad, fool. And it was out of control.
So
So
what put you back in control? Did you get some kind of treatment?
I
Did you get
think probably
counseling?
I went to I think I went to the home to one of the homes,
What homes?
one of the VO homes. I went to
VO, Victory
The
Outreach Home?
Whittier Victory Outreach Home. I
Mm.
think when I was maybe again this, I feel like my life kind of just I blanked out a lot of it. Maybe at about 25 years old, I actually called one of my older homies and he's like, "Hey fool, I'm done. I'm going to the home." I was like, "No way." He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Man, you know what? I think I'm done too." I'm like, "All right, let's go." So then we went to the home, and I already had a job. I had a couple of cars, and they're like, "Oh, you guys can't go to the same home because you're friends." So he went to the Puente home, the main VO, and then I went to the Whittier home, and I actually bypassed, I think, the first home because the first home you couldn't make calls, you couldn't leave the home. I think for like 3 months or something until you proved yourself. But they were like, "Oh man, you already got a job. You seem like you got it together. We're just gonna put you in the next home because this home might just hold you back." I was like, "All right, let's go." So we ended up going to I guess like a second home, and that was amazing. That was really
So it's like one phase to the next phase, right? So
yeah,
one of
they
them is
gave me
like a
all these
blackout.
rules and I
Mhm.
didn't even have rules at all, my whole life. And when I went in the home, they're like, "You're gonna have this rule and that rule." I was like, "All right,
So it
let's."
was time to learn some structure.
Yeah, a little bit of structure was. So I was like, "All right,
So
let's
how
go."
did you like the home?
Oh, I love the home. The home was really nice. And I mean, I had a couple of haters, some of the older dudes that were like leaders, they were a little upset because I think at one time I think I had like three, maybe four cars parked in front of the home. And one time one of the leaders, he's like, "Hey man, you're gonna have to loan me one of those cars, because these guys are walking older than me." And I'm like, "What car am I gonna take today?" So I just told him, "Yeah, if you can get the keys, you can drive any car you want. The keys are right here in my pocket." And when he
Being
never,
sarcastic.
yeah, he never borrowed a car. But we had a swimming pool right there, and we prayed every day. We went to church together, and it really felt like, oh my god, I got me a little family right here, man. It was nice. Woke up in the morning, everybody on their knees just praying. You could just feel the Holy Spirit. I was like, what? I woke up and everybody's just praying, and I would just get down and start praying, and I was just like, I remember sometimes I would get so into prayer, I got up and everybody was gone. I'm like, "Oh, no." I thought I got left behind, and, I just got so into the prayer, everybody was already gone, so I was like, "Alright, cool." But, I had never got into prayer the way I did until I was in that home, and I've seen how we read our Bibles every day and prayed and went to church all the time together and altar call every day. It was just
That's crazy. When I'm thinking about you sharing that story, I'm thinking about years later when we end up there to do the pool.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah, that's right.
We ended up at that same home, huh?
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
we were servicing a pool in the Whittier, like what would that be? Like North Whittier? Huh? Like
I
what
think
North Whittier?
so, yeah.
Yeah, the North Whittier area, and, he said, "I lived here," and I was like, "No, you didn't, because this dude clowns a lot, like, constantly,
He walks into it.
so it's hard to tell when he's telling the truth." He's like, "Nah, there's gonna be a back room over here," and he started describing it. I said, "What the heck? Like, what do you mean you were living here?" So he told me that that was a men's home, and at
Mhm.
the time, it was one of the brothers that was still a part of Victory Outreach, one of the leaders, actually. So I'm thinking they probably handed it over to him or something or whatever, but that's a trip.
Yeah.
Full circle around, huh? Like,
Mhm.
man,
Yeah, I stood there until the home got, shut down.
okay. So it was there, would you say, because I know you said earlier, like when you were younger, your mom had taken you to church off and on,
Mhm.
with your brother and sisters. So this was just more of the seed being watered in your life at this point.
I mean, at this point, I was there because I wanted to be. When I was younger, it's more like going to
You
church
had to
because
go.
you had to. At this point, I literally volunteered to go in and just give my life to God and try to turn it around. Although I felt like the demons followed me and I still ended up falling short in the home here and there. And I mean, good luck trying to catch me. They tried, but it was like I just was so quick to kind of find a way out. I don't know how, but they were like, "Man, you got an answer for everything." I'm like, "Well, hey, you're asking me a question," and we just me and then to top it off, one of my roommates that I was with, one of my boys, we were on like the same level, and I'm like, "Hey, fool, I know what you're doing." He's like, "I know what you're doing." I was like, "All right, cool."
As long as only us know what we're doing, huh?
Yeah, I'm like,
Oh,
"Hey,
man.
we're
That's crazy.
we're
That's
doing more
crazy.
good than bad."
Yeah. So you said you've been working a lot of hours, and I know you're like an executive manager with Hilton, right? Is it Hilton?
Well, it's a big company.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, big company
It's a big
where you
company, and
where you do what you love, right?
yeah, yeah, I literally get to just talk to guests all day, and it's actually not really a long shift. It's a short shift, so that works out really good, and I'm able to leave whenever I need to, and yeah, I was in shock. I was able to even get that job because one of my boys with like his master's and real highly educated. He was like, "Hey man, come work with me over here." I'm like, "Oh man, I don't got all those degrees and stuff." He's like, "Nah, don't even trip, give it a shot. Just come down." I'm like, "Nah, you know what? I'm actually enjoying my COVID. I was taking the COVID pay. So I was off for like, Lord Jesus, I think maybe like 2 years. So I'm like, nah, I don't really want to go back to work. I was just doing side hustles, and I was like, no, well, just try it. If you don't like it, you can just leave. I'm
Mhm.
like, man, I'll think about it. And then he called me back a week later. Come on, man, we still need somebody. So I went in and I just nailed it, and I just actually really liked it. So I'm like, dang, all right, I actually like this. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and stay. And then with the benefits this company offered, I was just like, whoa, okay, those are some good benefits. I mean, so before that, I was at my last job. I think want to say for like 17, little over 17 years. So yeah, I don't really job hop too much. Just that last job and now this job. A couple of jobs before the last one I was at for 17 years, just here and there. And then yeah, now let's see. Hopefully one of my businesses takes off, and maybe I'll still probably work my main job just because I like it to be there. But
Can you share a little bit about your business? What are you hoping takes off?
which one?
Just tell us about what businesses what you got going on besides your employee.
Um, so I've been doing some pressure washing with one of my buddies. Soft wash on homes, buildings, cleaning out the gutters and the rain gutters on top of the houses, solar panel cleaning, and pretty much that's one of them that I'm working with right now. We pretty much got our van up and running with all the material. So we did a couple houses today. Went pretty good.
Okay, but you have some people online right here. If you
Yeah,
want to
yeah, no,
sell yourself,
definitely share my information, my Instagram maybe. And if they need any pressure washing, solar
driveways,
panel
walls,
cleaning,
solar panels,
driveways, walls, house,
trash cans.
tra- yeah, why not? Yeah, trash cans.
No, because I know there's one company.
I seen that.
Yeah, they clean
Yeah,
trash cans.
that guy got a truck though.
Yeah, I mean that's a little bit more high end, but no, I see people with straight paw. I mean, they put them up against the curb and they shoot them right there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why not?
Okay, there it is, right
I
there.
might not be there. I got a little crew that I got going on. I might be there. I might not be there, but we'll
So what's your
definitely
what's
make
your
sure the job gets done right.
what's your service area?
LA County, Orange County.
Okay, not San Bernardino.
Not really, but when I do market, I'm gonna try to market a certain neighborhood and hit it hard with marketing. So I ain't driving from LA to Orange County. I'd like to keep most of my work in a similar area. So
See, you need to go hit that spot in Chino. Remember all the them houses that had the green on it, the mildew.
oh, the one
Remember
where
by Ronnie.
that one brother.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember all them roofs? We are like, man, that's money right there.
Oh
That's
yeah.
green. That's money on them.
Oh yeah, roofs too.
Yeah, remember them tile roofs where we're talking about in Chino?
Yep.
All these houses just had a bunch of. We were saying it was algae because that's what we. I mean, what
Hmm.
is that though? Like mold or algae? It is algae, huh? It's just like
I
from
think probably a,
moisture or
a
something.
mixture of dirt,
Mold,
algae, mold,
dirt. Yeah,
depending on
but
the
it was
what's
crazy
around that
because
house.
all them roofs were all green. I'm like, that's nasty. I was like, man, I wonder if
Yeah.
somebody could get up there and power wash all that, throw some chemicals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's money. That's what I was talking about. He's a hustler like that driving. He's man, that's money right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when we found the lady with the pool supplies. Where did we find her, online, or we are driving by?
No, she drove up next to us.
Oh, that's
Remember?
right.
Yeah, yeah. That was
Tell her pull
crazy. It was all
over.
time. And we weren't even supposed to be there. Remember? We went a different direction and we
Oh
bumped into
yeah.
her. But yeah, man. So you got your youngest daughter right now, which is Becca, which is a handful. This little girl, his little girl's like a little queen. Trust me. She has the attitude of it too.
Good attitude.
Yeah, she has that attitude,
Positive.
that positive. She's a boss lady, man. Trust me. She's old,
7.
7 years old, and this little girl, it's crazy, man. Her little attitude. She got,
Yeah.
she got
Very very positive. She might watch this.
very positive. She's
very
probably watching it right now, huh?
very good
On her
attitude.
on her
Nice,
iPad.
smart, beautiful, funny.
Yeah, she is very funny, very funny.
Yeah, she might watch it.
The stories he would tell me about her, I'd be laughing just as he was telling me just some funny stories about her. And she's crazy. She's a daredevil. Put her on a little motorcycle. Put her on anything that has wheels, man. That little girl gonna
Yeah,
take
dirt
off.
bikes, jet skis, boats,
The little motor scooters.
snowboarding.
Yeah, that little girl's dang. There's a lot of
My
energy
big
right
one
there.
too. She's really she's not as much as a daredevil, but she definitely will
What's
jump
that
on
phone call?
some of the toys.
Yeah. Hey, we're not going to just finish just yet, Enrique. I know we're going on an hour now, but I'm going to open it up for phone calls just in case.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, let me take it off do not disturb and let me make sure that I'm on. If you guys would like to call in and just share some just some words with us, man. We appreciate you guys calling in. The number is 626-367-9275. It's right there on the board. We'll be taking them calls, all right? Um, yeah, though. So, Enrique, what are some of your challenges right now being a dad, man? What?
Um, I mean, definitely enjoying the journey, not so much focusing on the destination.
Mhm.
Um, being grateful for the simple things, going for walks in the park, riding our scooters, spending time just talking, laughing, joking, board games, drawing, and just finding that time to really, give it to my little ones and just, sit there and talk to them.
Yeah, because I know you do a lot of interaction with your daughters, man. A lot of interaction in their activities.
Yeah, yeah, we try to definitely get out as much as we could, and
You know what I was laughing about? I was thinking about little Becca. I like she is she still in ballet? She,
no, no, she's not in
uh,
ballet no more. She's in karate
she in
now.
karate. So I used to think about that. Like here she is, little ballerina and everything, and she gonna be a black belt one day. Cause I like, I was like, she goes from ballerina
To
to martial
karate.
arts. She goes over there, and I was like, man, just some of the things, and I know, man, just some of the stories that you shared about your interaction with her, and I know it's been, like you said, a roller coaster in making sure everything was right, and you going through the process and having her with you and learning to be civil with their mothers, and
Yeah.
it's been a roller coaster, man.
Oh yeah, it still is.
And I know you ain't been no, 100% sane and all that, man, but one of the main things, man, that I really look up to you about though, man, is that even in your struggles, man, and your imperfections, I would say that you're teaching them the ways of the Lord. You taking them to church with you, and you know, you want them to grow up to have their own personal faith in the Lord.
Hmm.
And yeah, man, I really admire that about you, because I
Thank you.
know I know a lot of the struggles that you shared with me, and as positive as you are though, man, I could see like the burden where it's like, this is a lot, man. This is a lot, but you kept on going, man. You kept on going, kept a good positive attitude, and
Yeah.
I think things are working out.
Yeah, yeah, just, keep our head up and, keep on don't give up, keep on trying. When things get rough, just, don't stop.
Mhm.
Push harder.
Yeah.
No
eh,
one's coming to save you.
Yeah. And where would you say you're at right now in your faith, man? I mean, if you could be a little transparent with us.
As far as getting like plugged rooted into a church.
Yeah, just where you at with.
Mm, the church I was going to got sold to Amazon like 10 years ago, and I haven't really got plugged in ever since to another one. I've been going to West Covina VO with Pastor Ezra. Then I've been going to Eagle Rock with Pastor Augie. And then I've been going to a church called Freedom in Whittier with Pastor Jason. And a little bit church hopping, trying to figure out which one I want to get into, but not really. Haven't made the decision on which one. And it's probably been too long. I should have decided by now, and I haven't. So hopefully I'll decide one of these days.
Decide right now, publicly.
No,
Don't be shy.
yeah, no, I don't know which one yet. It's
Yeah.
rough.
And I know you, man. I know you have, a heart for the Lord, and I know he has a good heart, man. I mean, I could say that, and I think I'm a pretty good judge of characters, man. And this guy tries. I mean, one thing for sure is he's not greedy. He's not selfish. He definitely, looks out for who he can look out for, and of course, we can't help everybody. But I've seen that in you, Enrique. I believe you got a really good heart, man. That I know you love the Lord for sure, and I know you love people, especially your family. I mean, you talk I mean, you talk, man. I mean, your grandma and your mom. I mean, that's your world right there. You didn't really mention too much of them, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know
I don't.
that's. I mean, that's your everything.
Yeah, they're pretty much my grandma, my mom, I mean, my family, my friends. Try to keep my circle small, but I definitely, you know, love pretty hard.
Yeah. This dude's crazy, man. For reals. It's hard to be like really serious with this guy because he's a jokester, man. I'm thinking of there's so many times where we'd go to lunch or we'll stop for gas or something, and we'll be like in just random cities, and he'll walk in there and be like, "Hey, man, how you doing? How's the family? And you guys doing good?" And the guy, the register, like, "Yeah, I'm doing good." Yeah, I'm like, "You know me?" He's like, "Nah, I don't know that." I be like, "This was crazy." Hey, straight burnt out like that, but that's kinda energy he brings though, man, and yeah, there's many a times, I'll honk my horn at somebody who's like, "Hey, brother Jojo, relax, man, not that serious." I'm like, "Man, do cut me off, about to hit me or something." He's like, "It's alright, let him go." I'll be like, "I ain't trying to ram him or nothing, but this brother right here though, man, he's funny." I mean, I have had quite a few people sitting next to me, during the workday. This dude right here make the day go by so fast because I'm telling you right now, I don't know. It's like he's like on mute status because normally when we're driving, it's like nonstop. Sometimes it's like, man, hush already. But this dude right here though, man, I'm very proud of the young man you've become, and I know I'll say it on here, you've held back a lot of stuff, maybe not to just expose too much, but I know you've been through a lot, bro. I know you've been through a lot, and to see where you're at today, man, it's a blessing, bro. To see the father
Thank you.
you are, um, and like I said earlier, you're not perfect by no means, you know what I'm saying, but I believe you do everything in your power to be there for your girls and to be an example to them.
I mean, I do think we could probably all do more, for the most part, just
Mhm.
finding accountability if we don't have it and just working on our vision and our goals and just, really asking ourselves, what could we do more as a father or, whatever our circumstances are, mother, pastor, whatever it is. It's like, hey, we
Yeah,
could probably all do a little more. I know I could do more for sure. I just sometimes we get lazy, inconsistent,
yeah,
lack of self discipline. So I'm still working on improving to become better and work on some of my bad habits. Definitely.
yeah. Are you reading any books right now? Because I know you're a book reader.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely try to stay reading just because, we are what we think. So I'm like, hey, you know what? I think when I was about 18, I read The Psychology of Winning by Dennis Waitley, and he talked about what the eyes see and what the ears hear. It's what you feed your brain, and it's what you become. And he talks about how we're like a product of our environment. We become what we're around. So I said, shoot, man, if that's the case, what we see and hear is what we feed our brain. What should I feed my brain? And he had you do this little test to think about what you already knew, and I knew a lot of worthless rap songs and just a bunch of what time TV shows started and actors in the TV shows, a bunch of things that didn't matter. So when I realized, hey, you know what? I can learn, I can read about the geniuses that existed, since back in the day and try to brush up on just some of their thoughts and their ideas and their mistakes so I don't got to learn from my own and I could possibly learn from others and just books on audio, worship, um, favorite speakers, maybe like Myron Golden or Jim Rome. Just try to listen to good things, read good things, and just speak good things into life because I think our tongue, can make us or break us. So definitely try to find good stuff I could get my hands on to make myself better and the people I care about better.
You know what? Hold on real quick, man. I'm tripping.
Go ahead, Joe. Take your time.
Hold on. Shoot. Hold on one second. Uh, all right. Hold on. Let me see something. All right. Sorry about that. I just wanted to
Oh,
make
yeah,
sure I had
good,
something
man.
on
No
here.
worries.
Man. So what if you don't mind sharing, what are some of your ambitions right now? Besides your business, I know that's one of your ambitions. You got to see that going. What anything else that
Enjoying the journey, when I was younger, it was so much about the destination and getting the car and getting the bike and getting the money and getting the toys. And now it's just more like, hey, enjoying the journey, being happy,
Mhm.
being grateful for what I already have, and just, just doing what I can with what I have, with where I'm at, and try to find some positive people to stick around to do them good things with.
that's cool, man. And man, so before we go ahead and end this podcast, man, I usually like my guests to just do a quick little shout out, let's say to that son that doesn't have his father in his life right now. Kind of just like a little motivational, just a
Oh,
quick
you
little
you mean
blast.
pretty much for like the kids out there that might not have their parents or that might be struggling with things like that?
Yeah,
Just basically, for some of the kids out there that might be going through some things, just find yourself a good book to read. Make that author your friend. The book could be about whatever you're battling with, whether it's depression, drugs, alcohol. Nobody's really got to know what it is. You can just go to the library or even go to a thrift store and get a book just to start with. And now you can even use YouTube to just kind of search for solutions to anything you might be struggling with. Just know, that where there's a will, there's a way. I think right now with the day that we're in, it's easier to find resources than it's ever been. Although the temptation could be a lot stronger with a lot of the things you see on social media and things like that. There's still a lot of people out there willing to help, including, me, myself, JoJo, and a lot of resources out there. So, get you a book, just try to read something good. Start off with just one page, audio. Um, I've been really trying to just focus on thinking good thoughts, and just realizing where the thoughts even come from. And nowadays, you'll be driving around and seeing McDonald's and smelling hamburger stands, and you end up out there eating junk food just because of the advertisement that's going on. So just try to be a little bit cautious of what you hear and see, what you eat, your health. Enjoy the journey. Be grateful for what you have. If you got your hands, your eyes, your ears, your nose, your legs, you're already rich. So a lot of people think, hey, you know what? I'm gonna get this new car. I'm gonna be happy. But when they got that new car, when they made that new car, they didn't make it with no happiness. The happiness is already in you. A lot of people think, oh, this city is no good. That's why I'm a failure. That's why I keep falling back to my old ways. But you know what? Wherever you go, there you'll be. So just know that, a lot of what we see out there in the world, whether it's bad or good, it's a reflection of what we see in us. So just don't give up, man. If I did it, with my pops not really around and, kind of getting into trouble himself, you could do it. A part of me thought when I was younger, like, hey, you know what? I'm probably going to end up in prison for a long time because my dad's in prison and my friends' dads were in prison. So it was just like a part of us almost thought in our head, like, that's just the way it's going to be. And a lot of my friends are already away for a long time. And it's like, hey, we don't have to live like that, you know. And it just all starts with making that choice to be around people that you want to be like, positive people that are living a life that you want to live. And if you don't want to live, you don't want to live like them, then you're probably better off to not be around them. So just, you know, choose your circle wisely.
All right. All right. Well, I appreciate them words of
Yes,
wisdom right there.
definitely.
Definitely words of wisdom, man. I appreciate
Thank
you
you.
taking this time out. I know you got a busy schedule, and man, I do appreciate you, Enrique, man. I appreciate your friendship, and you're in my prayers, bro, because um, I've seen the battle that you've been through, man, and you have a lot of wisdom on how to endure hardship, bro. 'Cause that's what you faced, and you didn't really elaborate a lot on the hardships, but just know, this young man right here is striving and doing things the right way, you know, and that's man, that's a big accomplishment, man.
Thank you.
Because like you said, people that know you and know your story that were around. It's them people that could look back and be like, "Man, this little fool right here, man, how he avoided prison, how he avoided, you know, not killing himself on them bikes and stuff." That's a testimony. That's a
Yeah, yeah.
testimony because they know. You know what I
And
mean?
I hear a lot of the stories. I just try to blank out, and people, you know, off when I go around certain crowds will remind me of them, and I'm just like, oh man. I don't really remember all of them, so sometimes when they're telling the story, I'm just like, all right, hey, you know what?
That
It
was
is
all
what it
God. That was
is.
all God watching over you, man. That's
Yeah.
what grace is right there.
Yep. Yeah. So
Unmerited favor on Enrique. But
yeah.
anyways, Enrique, man, thank you, bro. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. I have to get you back on here later on when you got some other things going on.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, because you are, bro. You're a good dude, man, and I
Thank you,
appreciate
Joe.
appreciate your young wisdom. You know,
Yes.
Leonard, he's like a little coach for me, man. Maybe that's why I have a you know, little special love for this dude because he helped me out during some times of just being in my ear, even though I felt like doing this to him, like in that distance, like bam, shut up, man, dang,
It's
I
good.
ain't trying to hear all that.
It's good, man. It's good you didn't do it.
I know, but it kicked you out the truck. But anyways, though, man, I want to thank you guys for tuning in, for just being with us on this Sunday evening. I know some of you could have been watching the Dallas and the 49er game, but you chose to be here with us. I know a lot of you will watch it tomorrow, Monday morning, because I know a lot of you, go to work early and you guys go to sleep early and you guys like to watch it fresh on Monday. A lot of my viewers tell me, yeah, I see it Monday morning. And that's usually when the views really like start to pop up. But I do thank you guys. I appreciate all you guys. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, and we'll be back next week. And man, just thank you, man. Just thank you for all the love and support you've been showing to the channel. And I'll keep on bringing some positivity your way. So, with that being said, man, you guys have a great work week. God bless you guys. And that's it, man. We tapping out.